Hi, I'm Autistic, and this is my Bluey character tier. So, right here I have S, A, B, C, D, obviously. But at the top of the list, at the top of the tier, I have my lovely beans, my potatoes, my sweethearts that I love so dearly. And we're going to break it down bit by bit, guys, because I need this. So, this is tier 1. We have Pom Pom, Bingo, Socks, and Bandit. Now, I know what people are going to be thinking. They're thinking, I don't like Bluey as the main character, but that is incorrect. I love her, but she is not my favorite girl. She is an A tier because she is solid, but she is not my girl, you know? Pom Pom, I love her so freaking much because she just has such a sweet energy and she reminds me of a tiny me who was one of the shortest kids in my grade and really just felt kind of weird about how I was short and I couldn't always do everything that taller kids were doing. And my next one is Bingo because I am the youngest. I'm the youngest kid. I have an older sister. That's how it goes. And then Socks. Socks is the family's cousin, and I love her because she's just so sweet and adorable and still reminds me very much of me being one of the younger cousins as well. So, love her. And then Bandit. I love him so much because he has so many profound moments in the show, but he's able to be completely and utterly silly. And that's something that I admire about him as a character because not every character can be silly. And on to our next tier, which is A tier. And who we have on A tier is Bluey, Chili, Frisky, Honey, Pat, Chloe, Brandy, Muffin, and Grandpa. Oh, jeez. I've there's there's two grandfathers in the show, and only one of them actually has a bit more background than the other. They both have a background, but not a strong one. Bluey is in this tier because she is one of my favorite characters, but she's not the favorite character, even though I know I'm holding her plushie. She is one of my favorite characters, but she's not in the top tier for me as a character, which may be a little controversial. And then her mom, Chili. I love her because she's just such a genuine mom and a character, and she really tries to teach her kids and just she's a generally very sweet person. And I just love the fact that in the last couple of years we've gotten more lore about Chili and Bandit, wrong point, um, and what their jobs are, which is something that a lot of people were like, what do they do for a living? Because they're always home with their kids, And the next person on the list is Frisky, who is in the babysitter episode, Double Babysitter, and also who marries um, Bandit's brother, who is in the bottom of the tier. I'll explain that later. I love her because she's very sweet, very thoughtful, and she honestly makes a great addition to the family. And she's just got such this sweet energy, sweet vibe. And then I also put Honey in this tier because she reminds me a little bit of preteen me because I was very much a big reader. I loved to read, I still do. But that is very much something that reminds me of a young me. And then Pat, I love how he just goes along with the shenanigans of the neighbors all the time because there's just so much random stuff that they do that he's not even privy to, but that's totally fair. And then Chloe. She is such a sweetheart. I love her. She is adorable. Talking about Brandy. She is such a sweetheart, and I love seeing her and her sister bonding together, especially since their mom passed away when they were children. And I also do relate because she did have struggles with conceiving a kid. I have a condition that makes it a little bit harder for me to have kids, so I definitely appreciate the representation in the show and just in general. And the episode with her featured and the two kids getting their onesies is just such a sweet episode to see. And the next person in the tier is Muffin. I feel like this one is a little bit less of a I need to explain, a little more of just the word toddler, I feel like should say it all because toddlers are just so chaotic, but also I just wish that all the energy that she has that I could just have on a daily basis as an adult because it is hard to adult and be a person. And then the last person in this tier is Chili's dad, who is really funny and he honestly reminds me of my grandfather because when my grandfather was alive, he was very much like a similar kind of energy. And I just love seeing that kind of realness of parents and grandparents and relatives in the show is just so much fun. And the next tier features Jack, Lulu, Chucky, Missy, and Chili's mom, and Coco's mom, and Calypso. So Jack, I love him particularly because I relate very much to his struggle of memorization and such because I do have ADHD, and that is something that I appreciate seeing in kids media. And I love his little sister and how real and cute she is because even like the one, honestly, she's just so sweet. Lulu is just such an adorable little kid. And the next character is Chucky. Chucky is such a sweet little kid. I honestly prefer him to his brother. His brother is in the lower tier of my list. But I love Chucky because he's just so sweet and genuine, and him and Bluey's relationship is very sweet, but also like just seeing him part of everything in his family is just so sweet. Next person is Missy. Missy, I love the episodes that she's featured in because she is like the younger out of the three, and so she's not used to rougher play as people would put it. And so I appreciate seeing her in this episode and just being brave, being courageous, and being such a sweet little kid. And I just love her. And then Chili's mom. I don't know much about her mom. All I know is that she just seems like such a sweet and endearing character. I want to know so much more about this mom because whenever the parents are dead in any kind of cartoon or like movie, I'm like, why are they dead? What happened? Like, what's their name? Because we actually don't have a name for her mom, and I really want to know what that name is because that would be so cool to know. And then Coco's mom, I feel like it stands specifically. This reason makes complete sense because if you've watched Baby Race, she's just so genuinely sweet to Chili because like this is like her like ninth child, and she's very much has a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and she tells her straight up, she's like, you're doing an amazing job, because she's obviously very nervous. This is her first child, and it's just so sweet to see her be so genuine with her even though they don't know each other super 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 well, you know. Calypso, she is not my favorite character, but I do appreciate how she handles working with the kids because honestly, um it is very endearing to see them play games and her just being like, yep, that is what's going on. Yes, absolutely. So I do enjoy that very much. And then our next tier consists of Nana, Trixie, Indy, um, jeez, Janelle, Winnie. Oh, jeez. There's so many characters that it's hard to remember them all. I know of her, but I don't know enough about her to be like, yes, this character, I know her. I know her so well. Leela, Coco, and Snickers. Nana is not my favorite, but I think it's more particularly because I'm not a fan of the parenting style, specifically in the 80s when you see in the fairy tale episode. Not a big fan of the parenting style. She is a very sweet lady. I will not lie about that. She's great. Trixie, we don't get a lot of background information on her as a character. We have like this much. But she seems really sweet and really kind and just very engaged. And I love that her and Chili are friends. So I can definitely get behind that. Indy, she's fine. I mean, she's honestly, for some reason, she's in like my least favorite episodes of the show. So it's kind of hard to be like, yes, she's so amazing. But I'm not a big fan of her. She's fine. She's okay. And then Janelle is really funny. I love when she's featured because it's very much her and her husband bantering with their sons, which is kind of adorable. And then with Winnie, I love the episode where Bandit and her dad become friends. That is such a sweet episode to me. I think it's adorable. Her, she's in Bingo's class or whatever, but I don't know much about her. She doesn't make much of an impact for me, but she seems adorable and sweet. So I'm kind of just, she's in the C tier, you know. She's good. She's not amazing, but she's good. And then Leela. I know Bingo is one of my favorite characters. You'd think that Leela would be up further on the list, but honestly, I don't really care about Leela that much. I don't know what it is, but she's fine. She's not amazing. I mean, it's cute to see friends be friends for such a long period of time, but she's fine. It's okay. Honestly, this is just my current opinion, so it could change over time for all I know, but this is my current opinion. Coco, she's cute, she's pink, she's adorable. I have no complaints, really. She's very adorable, but not my favorite. Snickers, I like the name. I do like wiener dogs. They're very cute. But he's a very forgettable character to me. Only because of his name and like his hat thing is the only thing that really makes him stick in my brain. Otherwise, eh. Okay. Last tier. Judo, Stripe, Boba, Baba, Baba, yeah. Rusty, Lucky, Rad, and Mackenzie. I know this might be a little controversial. Some people have similar opinions or different, but I don't like Judo that much because she is kind of rude and very entitled compared to most of the kids in the show. I understand that she is obviously not going to have the exact same experience as all the other kids, but she's mostly in the episodes that I do not really like or that I feel a little bit sad about. So she's definitely not one of my favorites. I do start to like her a little more when she loosens up and is able to like cut her hair in a sense, and she gets to do what she wants, and that's great. Otherwise, don't like her that much. Stripe, he's fine. He's okay. I mean, I felt sympathy for him in the fairy tale episode, but other than that, he's very whatever, he's not really my favorite. It feels like he's kind of a helpless parent to a degree, like he doesn't really have as big of a role in the kids' lives. I mean, I do appreciate the squash episode with him and Bingo being younger. That was beautiful. But the episode of the sleepover with Muffin, he like runs, like feigns helplessness, runs away. And even with him and his wife fighting in front of the kids, in the episode where they're doing like facey talk together, not a big fan of that. So Bubba, he's not usually around that much, so I'm not really a big fan because there's not much to tell. But even his appearance in Fairy Tale was very just like, like he's not really doing his role and responsibilities. That might just be a period of the time, but it doesn't feel great to see. Rusty, I'm not a sports person, so I have no particular like, yes, this character is great. I love him. He's fine. I yeah, he's fine. He's not really my favorite. He's cute. His sister is honestly more of a fun character to me than he is. I didn't put her on this list though, because she doesn't have a big presence in the show, so I didn't put her down on this list. But it's fine. Lucky, he's fine. He's just very much like a whatever character, to be honest. I know he's there for a lot of stuff, but I don't care. He's not really a character that I'm like, you're so amazing, you're so great, so inspirational. No. And then Radley. Honestly, not a big fan of him, only because like he's very like hands off with the family until he marries Frisky, and then he kind of is more in their lives. But otherwise he's not really a big presence in the show and in the kids' lives, so I'm not really like, yes, we need to have him. No, I'm very much, I think it's fine. It's okay. It's just, you know. And the last character, Mackenzie. Honestly, I understand that from what we know about him, he does have trauma, and I can completely respect that. And he seems like a sweet character, but I'm not a big fan of him because he's very like, And I don't honestly like the fact that people keep shipping him and Bluey, like specifically the characters on the show, shipping them together. I don't mind the outside fandoms, like our us as a fandom looking at it. That's fine, but I do not particularly ship them together. I don't think that would be a great thing. I'm very, very much about the whole thing. So, take it or leave it to the opinion, but that's just how I feel. So, thank you for listening to my autistic special interest rant, because this has been my special interest for a couple of years now, and I love the show. And I'm excited to see what else comes up from the show in the next several years to come. Thank you.